Welcome back to online classes. Dear students, today I am going to discuss with Indian Penal Code. Okay. Today class also same defamation topic, but subtitle is different. Okay. Publication by repetition. Publication by repetition. That means the term publication includes repetition or republication of a libel already published. So if a newspaper reproduces a libelous articles from another, it makes the article its own and is liable to all the consequences resulting from its publication. Though the fact that article was merely a reprint would be conducive to mitigation of the sentence or damage awarded. Okay. Printed matters. What is that? Printed matters. Here, as per the IPC, strictly in the eye of law, the editor, printer, publisher and even the distributor is liable for the printing or publishing of any defamatory matter. Okay. This also discussed by the Ramasamy versus Loganatha cases. Okay. Okay, students, we'll discuss imputation concerning any person. Okay. What we'll do here, the word imputation indicates something bad about another and implies the attribution of evil. The making of an accusation, allegation, okay, insinuation or a charge against a person. Okay. The words a complaint of must contain an imputation concerning particular person or persons whose identity can be established. The principle of the civil law of defamation established in the famous case of Alton and Company versus Jones. Okay, Alton, not Hilton, Hulton, Alton and Company versus Jones, wherein it was held that the intention of the defendant is immaterial, is not applicable to the penal law of defamation as contained in the relevant section of IPC. Okay, section 499 of IPC says that imputation means imputation made concerning any person must at least be believed to harm the reputation of such person. Dr. Gore, G-O-U-R, Gore, adds that, in other words, a random shot not directed against any particular man or class of man is outside the scope of the offense. Okay. Then again there are the words intending to harm in the penal section, which makes intention the gist of the offense, whereas under the civil law of torts as laid down in the above case, Alton and Company versus Jones, intention is immaterial. Okay. Okay, students, and also I will give you meaning of the means of publication. Okay, means of publication. There are four types. Number 1, words spoken. Number 2, written. Number 3, signed. Number 4, visible representation. Okay, this 4. Here the distinction between written defamation and spoken defamation, that is between libel and slander. Okay, libel and slander is not maintained in Indian law. The words visible representations will include every possible form of defamation which human ingenuity can devise. For instance, a statue, a caricature, an effigy, chalk marks on a wall, chalk marks on a wall, or signs or pictures, drawing a pictures, may constitute a libel. Okay. Illustration. Here illustration B is an instance of defamation committed by signs, and okay, an illustration C is visible representation. We already discussed, no? Okay. Here, intention to injure. What is that intention to injure? Here, defamation. This is a topic of defamation only. Intention to injure. Yes, not that point. Section 499 explain, the person who defames another must have done it intending to harm, or knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation will harm the reputation. Okay, imputation will harm to reputation. We have already seen the meaning of reputation, which in essence is esteemed in which a man is held by others. One result of this meaning is that communication of a libel only to the person libelled is not defamation. Okay. It also been held that words of common abuse such as you idiot, okay, somebody using this word, you idiot, you scoundrel, and others which convey no definite imputation harmful to one's reputation do not constitute defamation. Okay student, we already discussed in this area exception category. I just wanted to go that area again in this online classes. The 10 exception to section 499 state cases in which the imputation prima facie defamatory may be excused. There are occasions when a man is allowed to speak out or write matters which would ordinarily be defamatory. The 10 exceptions may be briefly stated thus. Number 1 is imputation of truth for public good. Number 2, public conduct, okay, public conduct of public servants. Number 3, public conduct of public men other than the public servants. Number 4, comment on cases and conduct of witnesses and others concerned. Number 5, merits of cases, decisions and judicial proceedings. Number 6, merits of public performances, literary criticism, etc. Number 7, censure in good faith by one in authority. Number 8, complaint to authority. Number 9, imputation for protection of interest. Number 10, caution in good faith. Okay, and also this exception may be further be grouped thus. Exception 1 corresponds to the plea of justification being a bare statement of truth for public good. Exception 2, 3, 5 and 6 correspond to the plea of fair comment on a matter of public interest. Exception 4 covers the plea of a fair report of judicial proceedings. Okay. Exceptions 7 and 8 cover the case of censure by a lawful authority passed in good faith and accusation made to a lawful authority in good faith. And also exception 9 and 10 cover the case of imputation made in good faith by a person for protection of his interest and for the public good, and the case of caution intended for the good for the person to whom it is conveyed or for the public good, may as pointed out that the 9th exceptions state a general principle of which exception 7, 8 and 10 are particular instances, so that the last 4 exceptions really fall under what is known as privilege, that is communication made on a privileged occasions. Okay, this communication made on privileged communication explained in the Indian Evidence Act also. Okay, based on this section, this IPC also giving exceptions. Okay, that is communication made on privileged occasion. Okay students, the principles relating to alleged rights, and next point, the principles relating to alleged rights, privileges, duties and responsibilities of the newspaper in respect of publication of news items, as also cases relating to the documents of fair comment. Okay students, and we'll discuss with the privileges of the particular person. What is that? As per this section means privileges of judges, counsels, witness and parties. Okay, the privileges of judges, parties, counsels, attorneys, pleaders. Counsels means those who are appearing before the court. That name also advocates, counsels. Attorney, okay, that also government lawyer. Pleaders, that also government pleader. And witnesses come under this exception category. Under English law, these persons enjoy absolute privilege, okay, both in the law of torts and crimes. You already studied law of torts and crimes, no? I think you studied law of torts, not crimes. The final year students only studying the crime and all. Okay students, in India, so far as civil law of tort is concerned, the English rule of absolute immunity is follows. Okay, but their position is not so safe in criminal, where they are subjected to the conditions laid down by the section 499 of IPC. One leading case, Babu Gunesh Dutt, BABOO, Babu Gunesh, GUNNESH, Gunesh Dutt, DUTT, Dutt. Okay, Dutt and versus Mugniram Chowdhury. Okay, MUHNEERAM, Mugniram Chowdhury, CHOWDHRY, Chowdhury. Okay, and this exception says that their imputations are protected only if made in good faith. Okay, in short, of Indian Penal Code confers on them only qualified privilege limited by good faith. That's all. Okay students, and also explain about section 501 of IPC. What is that 501? Explain in this provision. Here, printing or engraving of defamatory matter is made punishable with the simple imprisonment for 2 years, or with the fine, or with both fine and imprisonment. Here, the points to be proved under the sections are: number 1, that the matter in question is defamatory. Okay, that the matter in question is defamatory. Number 2, that the accused printed or engraved it. And number 3, that accused knew that the matter was defamatory. Okay, and also section 502 of IPC explain about is supplementary to section 501 of IPC, and makes the seller of any printed or engraved substances, okay, seller of any printed or engraved substances punishable with simple imprisonment for 2 years, or fine, or both. Okay students, now it's clear. This defamation chapter is very simple one. Okay, you just follow all the rules and regulations and the section and all. Okay, and the tips you can apply wherever needs the 10 exception category, then it is free from defamatory offense. Okay, fine students, take care, all the best, bye, see you.